What are some fun New Year's resolutions for your San Antonio Spurs? And what is Tre Jones' ceiling?
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey guys, this is Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, and you are listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia. It's morphin' time.
Welcome back to Locked On Spurs, the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Kings by San Antonio. Glad to have you back. Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Hope everybody's starting their 2023 on a good foot as we are here on Locked On Spurs. What are we talking about tonight? We're going to look at Tre Jones again. Yes. What is his ceiling? You know, in the previous episode, we talked about, is he the point guard of the future or / in this rebuild for San Antonio? But how much better can he get? And also, we're going to look at some New Year's resolutions for your silver and black. What are some fun ones? What should the Spurs do in this season or New Year 2023? Who is helping me today? He is Joe Garcia, Two Shots Podcast. Joe, I know one of your resolutions is to conquer everything, right? Like Kang the Conqueror.
I wish I could conquer just waking up early, and not being so tired, Getting older is horrible, Jeff.
Is that really a resolution of yours, to just get up early, be more of an early bird?
Yeah, be more of an early bird, get up, probably just start, usually I'll try to go ahead and work out in the later part of the day, but I think I'm just going to try to start working out in the morning. That way I just have more energy throughout the day. So that's my resolution.
Are you good at resolutions? Like, can you stick to them for the most part?
For the most part, yeah, I stick to them. I say I'm going to do something, and I'll do it. So hopefully I can stick to this one.
And that's true. Like, because even for example, Joe's been helping me scope out a new microphone for the podcast, and he's been helping. But Joe, you're pretty good about that. Like, I ask you for help, and man, you go above and beyond. You'll be like, this and that and that, and this and this, and get this cord and this microphone, and you don't need that, Jeff. That's overkill. So you're pretty focused when you get right down to it, Joe.
Yeah. So hopefully I can keep this one because hey, just want to have more energy throughout the day. Want to lose a couple pounds and just get more things done.
What? I heard you're training with Thor already.
No, not even close, man.
You're not there
even
yet.
Close.
All right. Make sure to follow Joe on Twitter at Two Shots Podcast and check out Two Shots Podcast, and he'll talk about that later on the show. So, Joe, let's go ahead and put into focus Tre Jones. So, look, as I mentioned earlier, we really put Tre Jones in focus as far as, is he the point guard for the rebuild? We threw in stuff like, well, there's the draft with Scoot Henderson. We talked about Blake Wesley, so forth. But in order to keep him around, we got to see if he's going to progress, in what areas he's going to get better in. What is his ceiling, or is this it? So, Joe, he's another season with the Spurs. He's, another year as a pro. What have you been seeing so far in his career? What have you been thinking about when it comes to Tre Jones running the point guard spot?
Well, he's played with the San Antonio Spurs for 3 seasons already. He started in the 2020-2021 season. At that point in time, he was 21 years of age. Now he's 23 in his third season, 2022-2023. And, he didn't get a lot of playing time in his first 2 seasons because he was playing, basically behind one DeJounte Murray, and possibly even Derek White coming off the bench here and there, But now, given that he's been that first option now for the San Antonio Spurs, basically starting in the lineup, you're seeing basically, I think you're seeing what you're getting out of him right now. I really believe that this is his ceiling. I mean, you look and seeing what he's done this particular season, and he's averaging like 12.9 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, 6.5 assists, field goal shooting percentage is 44.1%. I mean, he's not a prolific 3-point shooter, and that's fine. He doesn't need to be. But, he's good at the free throw line. I mean, he's shooting 87.4%. Like to see that, go up a little bit more. But I mean, overall, his mid-range game, him being able to facilitate the offense. I mean, he's just a really well-rounded point guard, not a superstar by any means, not going to be able to take over games, but he's really good at what he does. And that's not a knock on him. He's just a solid addition, and I think right now Spurs fans are just, really surprised and happy with his performance this season. He's just been solid to start the season, and basically what you see is what you get with him.
Yeah, I look at his body of work so far through 3 seasons of the NBA, and once he was given the reins, with DeJounte Murray traded and then Derek White gone, he's really taken it and ran with it this season, especially this year. You look at the tenacity on the court, you look at the want to win. I mean, Popovich has already compared him to Avery Johnson. So as far as that, will to win, that does everything. And I think that's what I like about him. He does a little bit of everything for San Antonio, from points to rebounds to assists to steals, to shooting, that the getting to the rim, putting the Spurs in position to win. So we saw versus Dallas, when he went to the free throw line and could have tied it and missed one, but it is what it is. Joe, when I look at Tre Jones, though, I think what's could hold him back is his size. He's very undersized for the NBA, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean he's listed at 6'1", but
Hmm.
he does have similarities, I guess, to one Avery Johnson. Both very hard workers. And that I don't know, they just have that drive. They just want to go out, compete, and win. And that's what the little general was, Avery Johnson. So not saying that he is going to be that, you know, I guess the second coming of Avery, but they share some similarities. And yeah, despite his size, he's still able to, put up some numbers, which is good. Because if you're looking to see when he first came in, and played with the Spurs, he was just averaging 2.5, points per game. Then in
Hmm.
his second season, 6 points per game. And now he's doubled that. Now he's averaging 12.9%, 9 points per game, which is
Hmm.
great because you're seeing the progression of his offensive game come to
Hmm.
light because he is, in fact, getting more minutes. But like I said, yeah, I can see those similarities between him and Avery. They're hard workers.
Yeah, hard workers, and to think Trey Jones was a second round pick. He was a second
Yeah.
round pick, and the Spurs are getting this type of quality from quality of work slash performance this season with Trey Jones. Once again, we're joined by Joe Garcia of Two Shots Podcast. We're discussing the topic: what is Trey Jones's ceiling after 3 seasons in the NBA? And Joe, I look at Trey Jones. I like him as a guard, but for the Spurs team right now, but I would put him in the pile of, he's not untouchable. Like I would still use him in a deal. What about you?
If you use him in a deal, who is going to be your point guard? That's
That's what I'm saying. Like, let's just say the Spurs needed to swing a deal to get draft picks. What if it's, they draft Scoot Henderson? That all but puts out him, because Scoot's going to get the nod. He's. Would you just lump him in an untouchable category? I wouldn't yet.
I think if you lump him into some type of deal, I mean, you're going to have one of these deals that you absolutely just can't, pass by because
Right.
I think he's still an instrumental part to the offense because he's making the whole offense go. So if you're
Hmm.
losing him out in his leadership out there on the court, you're gonna have a gaping hole to fill because you have unproven guards at this point.
Hmm.
You what you're gonna do, you're gonna kind of switch around and try out, some of your shooting guards and maybe switch positions. I mean, you could do stuff like that, but I'm saying that if they go ahead and package him in a deal, I mean, it's going to be very much let's go ahead and tank for Wemby kind of
Hmm.
mantra, or
Right.
mentality.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you package him in a deal that you just absolutely can't say no to, it would have to be something very attractive,
Hmm.
very attractive.
Right.
But I mean, losing him, and let's say if they package them both together, let's say they package, say Trey Jones and a Yaka Portal, you're going to
Hmm.
have some gaping holes in your offensive game, and basically at that point you're signaling the a full tank is in order,
Right.
So I mean, it's something to keep an eye on for sure, and it's something to that Spurs fans, I think, need to kind of prepare themselves for. I think at this point, maybe more and more names, even his name might come up
Right.
in trade talk, so something to keep an
Yeah.
eye on.
Let's not forget too. Vegas supposedly has the Spurs in the hunt for James Harden and Trey
Oh
Young. So
God.
there's that. There's other guards there, Joe. But we're not done talking about Trey Jones's ceiling. When we get back, we're looking at some of the advanced numbers. what does Tre Jones's per 36 minutes look like, and then get into some New Year's resolutions for your silver and black. Once again, we're joined by Joe Garcia of Two Shots Podcast. Follow him on Twitter at Two Shots Podcast. And thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day, free and available wherever you get podcasts. And I want to talk to you about Prize Picks. You got to get Prize Picks right now. It's a daily fantasy app you'll definitely enjoy. So how does it work? You pick 2 to 6 players, and they go on to score more or less than the Prize Pick projection. You can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. You're not competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available. Prize Picks offers projections on any sport that you watch. MMA, NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA, college football, boxing, Euro basketball, cricket. Yes, I said cricket, disc golf, and more. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less, and it's that easy. Safe and fast withdrawals, currently operational in over 30 states and in Canada. What you got to do is download the PrizePicks app right now, or simply go to prizepicks.com to sign up for daily fantasy sports. Play it right now. First-time users can receive 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code Locked On. So if you deposit $100, PrizePicks gives you $100. You deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50. Don't forget to enter promo code Locked On and sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100. We're back right here on Locked On Spurs with Joe Garcia of Two Shots Podcast. Follow him on Twitter at Two Shots Podcast and let him know your New Year's resolution. Give him encouragement to stick to his New Year's resolutions. You need it, Joe. You need some help sometimes.
Yeah, I guess so, but I think everybody does. To stay on their New Year resolution, and just to keep things moving forward. Because then, you get lazy and you're like, I don't want to do it. But yeah, you do need some motivation.
Yeah, I do too. I do. I don't think I've even thought about New Year's resolutions. If I have to think of it right now, maybe probably just reduce some credit card debt.
Yeah, maybe not buy all those Funko Pops, Jeff.
Oh God, maybe that should be it right there, Joe. See, you're helping me now. Yeah, I gotta cut back on my collection. My collection's out of control. I've had to sell some stuff recently just to cut it down. It's just too much. It's just too much. Then what happens yesterday? I go to Walgreens, and Walgreens once in a while has exclusive stuff. And I came across one and I picked it up, Joe. Not a good way to start my New Year's resolution, but it starts now. Now we're gonna try to reduce my credit card debt and stop buying Funko Pops. So, Joe, let's talk about Tre Jones' ceiling. Let's look at some of the advanced numbers now. We'll look at his per 36, and his per 36 is not bad. Again, 12.6 points per game. Again, per 36 minutes. Put that very clear. 12.6 points per game, 5.2 assists, 2.8 rebounds, and shooting about 47% from the field and 60% from the 3-line. But mind you, per 36 has him just taking under 1 3-shot a game. So keep that in mind. I think you look at those per 36 numbers, and those are good. Those are good numbers. Those are the advanced numbers. But again, in today's NBA, you look at the guards now, from Luka Doncic to Trae Young to, who wasn't my Donovan Mitchell, what have you. Sometimes guards explode for big numbers, Joe.
Yeah, sometimes they do. They can heat up just like, I guess some of these other guards back in the day, was it the microwave? They brings brings I guess a memory back from way back when, from the old days of the San Antonio Spurs. What's his name? Vinny Johnson, I think it was, the microwave. And he could heat up, and he had some games where he did go off, all of a sudden he would catch fire and just start raining threes on the opposing team. But yeah, I mean, anything can happen,
I look at the situation with Tre Jones, and look, he's a good point guard. I'm surprised. When everybody was looking at Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell as the two guys, we got to see their jump. What is their jump going to be like this season? It's actually been Tre Jones that's been really surprising me with his play. Again, the grittiness, the will to win, that fearlessness, getting to the rim to cause havoc. All that is great. Again, but I just circle back to, like, what is his ceiling? Like, what can it be? Because right now he's averaging career highs in points per game. I believe it was at 12.9. I think it is, Joe. 12.9 career high in that department. He's also a career high in assists, 6.5. Again, not too shabby. Steals, a career high, 1.4, Joe. Field goal shooting is down 44%, but again, you have to factor in Keldon and Vassell are going to get a lot of the touches. Overall, I think the next jump for him has to be the 3-shot, Joe?
Yeah, but notoriously, I mean, he doesn't really take a lot of threes. So I mean, I'm not going to be mad if that never really transpires. But players always want to find something to work on in the off season, and definitely he can work on that and get better, at knocking those open threes down. But that's just to me, that's just not a strong suit in his game. And I just think in the other areas of his game that he's good at, I think that's where he really needs to focus more of his attention. So I like I said, I love the numbers that he's been putting up this season. And I just think he's a really solid addition to the San Antonio Spurs squad as a point guard. He is a true point guard out there. And like I said, I mean, he's great at doing what he's doing. He's just not one of these guards that's going to be a superstar status that's going to just take over a game. And that's fine. I mean, like I said, not a knock on the guy, just, he is who he is. And I look forward to seeing him grow a little bit more here with the San Antonio Spurs.
So I got to ask you then, is this his ceiling or do you expect more out of him as this season continues and next year?
No, I think pretty much what you're seeing right now is what you're getting with him. This is, in fact, I think his ceiling. He can get a little bit more efficient, sure, with the way he runs the offense. And, just, as you get a little bit older, he's going to start getting more and more experience, which will translate on him to him doing better things out there on the court. But like I said, just right now at this stage in his game, and 23 years old, I mean, he's still got a lot of tread left on the tire, Jeff. So yeah, I think the kid is going to be a really solid point guard. And if the San Antonio Spurs wind up drafting a guard, in the upcoming NBA draft, having Tre Jones as that second option coming off the bench, possibly, if that in fact does happen, and leading that second unit, that's another solid addition. So however the Spurs want to utilize him, they really do have a great point guard in one Tre Jones.
For me, I think this is not his ceiling, but I shouldn't expect more next season or as this season continues. I think once he starts getting down that 3-shot, I think that's where he'll kind of hover around for the rest of his career. I don't want to see him become some offensive juggernaut guy. Maybe the assists can go up a little bit more. I mean, I'll give him that, but still 6.8 assists per game right now is pretty good. But I think probably next year we might be getting close to that ceiling. And look, I think he's always going to have a job in the NBA, whether it be in San Antonio or elsewhere he gets traded or contract expires, what have you. But I think we're getting close to it. He's not there yet, but there's other areas of his game that he'll definitely improve upon as his career develops. All right, when we get back, we're going to continue our chat about your silver and black. We're going to talk New Year's resolutions, Spurs style, right here on Locked On Spurs. But before we do that, I want to talk to you about BetOnline. BetOnline.net is your number one source for sports betting information, stats, news, and analysis. Get all the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there, from pro football, college bowl season, basketball, everything. They got it all over at BetOnline.net. And if you love sports podcasts, you can even find those as well over at BetOnline. They're the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info. Also, that's where you can find those odds on Trae Young and James Harden. Where do the Spurs stack up as far as landing either of those two guards? You can go check it out at BetOnline.net. Head to the website today. Use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, it's where the game starts. We're back with Joe Garcia right here on Locked On Spurs. He is with Two Shots Podcast. In just a few seconds, he's going to be bragging about that in great detail. And he's also going to tell us exactly his gym plan. What is your workout schedule going to look like in the new year?
Oh man, just trying to get more cardio in, so I can go ahead and start burning some calories. So in the mornings, I'll probably go ahead, get on the treadmill a little bit, and after that, I'll probably hit the weights for a little bit, and then I'll end the workout with getting on the rowing machine. I like the rowing machine, man. And our local YMCA here, just around the corner from us, they have this game, dude, that you can play when you're on the rowing machine, and it's this little fish trying to eat other fish, and the more and fast, I guess the faster you row, the more fish he eats, and the more points you gather. So it's something that I like doing. My daughter likes getting on that rowing machine as well, so we have fun with it.
Like when you hit the gym, like are you just kind of a weights guy, or are you just more of a cardio guy?
Right now I'm trying to work on my cardio. I need to I need to start burning some calories, so I need to get my heart rate up and really moving. That way you can start burning some calories. And then,
Mhm.
I just like to try to, once you start burning some of those calories, just try to tone up a little bit, by hitting the weights, and then again, I just like ending the whole workout again, just, trying to get the heart rate up one more time and, start burning some calories again on the rowing machine.
All right. Well, we're talking about New Year's resolutions, but what are some New Year's resolutions for the silver and black, Joe? Everybody's putting them out there. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to, for me, stop buying collectibles and reduce credit card debt. Those are mine. But when it comes to the San Antonio Spurs, what could be some possible resolutions for them as a team? I'll kick things off. Joe, I want to say perhaps s- go ahead and start bringing Blake Wesley back. Let's resolve to get him more minutes, get him out of the Austin Spurs G League system, and throw him out on the court. Because, Joe, I thought this was a developmental season. Sohan's getting the burn, Branham's getting the burn, but where's Wesley? I would like to see him already come back from Austin to San Antonio. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you'd want to see him, get back in rotation, and get some quality minutes here with the team, But I believe he was also injured, wasn't he, Jeff?
Yeah, he was injured. Yes.
Yeah, so that might be part of the reason why they have him, getting some minutes over there with the G League to probably try to, get him back up to speed and probably try to bring him in, slowly. They don't want to just throw him into the fire, but definitely you want to see him get some more minutes out there. And I think Spurs fans also want to see him get some minutes, and they want to see him out in the court because he was looking pretty good when they had him out there, until he got injured really early on in the season. And you know, um, I think Spurs fans just need something to get excited about nowadays, and why not give the rookie some run? Everybody else is getting some love, so might as well throw him into the fire at this point.
Absolutely. Joe, what about a resolution for your Spurs? What would you like to see them resolve to do this start of the new year?
I'd like him to get more consistent on the defensive end. I mean, you look and see what the team is from a defensive standpoint, and it's just really frustrating this season because they're just letting teams just score on them at will, and basically the Spurs just don't have an answer for teams on any given night. Even if they have a 20-point lead, they usually try to go ahead and scare Spurs fans by squandering that lead in the fourth quarter, and uh, they make things interesting to say the least. But I want to see them just try to tighten that up and get a lot better on the defensive end because when you're looking at their defensive rating from all 30 teams in the NBA, they're dead last, and I mean, you can kind of see why, if you've been watching this team since the beginning of the season, they're just not very good when it comes to defense. Now, they've gotten maybe a little bit better, but you just want to see them get even better, be more consistent because if they can go ahead and bring their defense up, that's going to translate into them getting more wins, which might not be something that Spurs fans want, but if they can start trending in that right direction and get a little bit more consistent on defense, but try not to win too many games, I think that would be the perfect sweet spot for San Antonio Spurs fans. But defense, 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 they need to get back and, really to what Spurs fans are really used to with seeing a lot of these San Antonio Spurs teams in the past their calling card was defense. And I just think that, this new look Spurs team, since they're so young, has kind of gotten away from that a little bit.
You almost took the words out of my mouth. I think for me, and I don't know if the team's going to do that, but for me, I would love to see this team resolve to get better prepared for the 2K. I'm sorry, the NBA draft 2023 because a certain Wimbayana could be there. I would love to see them resolve to land in those top three spots, 14%, Joe, to get a good shot at landing Wimby. Your thoughts?
Of course, that's the prize. Everybody's looking at Wemby, but like I said, I would not be mad if the Spurs, let's say, didn't get that first pick, got the second, and they went with Scoot Henderson. I wouldn't be mad with that either, because I mean, if you're the San Antonio Spurs, Jeff, and let's be honest, you get a top five pick. What are the Spurs going to wind up doing? Are they going to wind up drafting for need? Probably not. They're going to go and get the best available player. So I mean, at this point, I like I said, I wouldn't be mad. If they got Scoot, I wouldn't be. But I mean, the prize everybody knows is going to be one Victor Wembanyama, and we've already seen the pictures of San Antonio Spurs fans at some of the games, and they already have Wembanyama on the back of their jersey. So tells you all
Right.
you need to know, Jeff.
What about this resolution for the San Antonio Spurs? And maybe individually, as far as Keldon Johnson is concerned, maybe get better on the three shot. Look, he's putting up monsters number. He had a recent 30-point back-to-back nights, and that's good. I'm not, raining on his parade. But we've seen him struggle from the three line on and off this season. Your thoughts, Joe?
Yeah, you've seen him struggle from the 3-point line, and basically, I mean, he just needs to work on that. I mean, there's things that every player needs to work on. Like I said, it's not a knock on Keldon. I mean, I love Keldon. I mean, he's one of my favorite players here on this San Antonio Spurs squad. But yeah, I mean, he needs to work on his 3-point shooting. But the other aspects of his game, I mean, you've seen some growth there. You've seen him be a little bit more controlled. You've seen him make better decisions with the ball. Um, and you like the things that you're already seeing that he brings to this San Antonio Spurs squad. I mean, he's one of your top scorers on the San Antonio Spurs roster, and him just getting better at other aspects of his game is just going to make the team that much more better as well. But yeah, there are some things he needs to work on. I think one of the things too, beyond the 3-point shooting, is recognizing, when the teams are really starting to press him, make better decisions when you see that the double team coming out, or they're giving you different looks, and you don't necessarily want to get in trouble when the other teams are starting to give you that full court press. You've seen time and time again, and it's not just Keldon, it's the rest of the squad as well. They start getting a little bit complacent, and they start making bad decisions when the opposing teams really start turning up the defense. So just little things that they need to work on. But overall, yeah, man, I mean, 3-point shooting is definitely one of those things that I want to see Keldon work on.
Any other resolutions you want to see from the Silver and Black?
Like I said, just play a little bit more consistent of a game. I mean, you can't really fall behind in the first quarter and then try to play catch up. I mean, it requires a lot of energy to catch up against these better teams. And I mean, I'm saying I don't necessarily want the Spurs just to be, going out there and just laying waste to teams every night, because it's going to hurt their chances to get a top pick. But you just want to see them play a little bit more consistent. And, you know, for me, it means starting the game by not falling behind in that first quarter, because statistically, when they fall behind in the first quarter, Jeff, it doesn't bode well for the team. They don't have a really great record when they fall behind early.
Right.
So you want to see them start the games a lot better than they have been, and just be a little bit more consistent with that moving forward. Don't fall behind in that first quarter. Do whatever you have to do to try to at least have the game even at that point, or you want the lead, to better your chances of possibly winning the game. So again, I just want to see him play a little bit more consistent coming out of the gate.
Yeah, like there's a lot of resolutions for the Spurs, whether it be, getting better draft odds, staying within the top three, 14% slots, to Keldon Johnson improving his three shot. And other thing for me, I can see Blake Wesley get more NBA run now. But yeah, I mean, there's so many things the Spurs can do in the new year, and hopefully, Joe, we'll see them improve a little bit, because this is a developmental season. So from collectively to individually, you want to see this team improve. Joe, I did not put this on the schedule though, but I wanted to be a little bit of surprise. Would you like to make a Spurs fans New Year start off on the right foot with a little surprise?
Yeah, sure. It's always good to surprise the fans. I mean, they're the reason that the team has stayed in San Antonio for so long. So of course you want to
Absolutely.
surprise them.
Absolutely. All right. So, in case you were living under a rock, but there's a big game coming up at the Alamo Dome this month, just a few short days, and it's the throwback game. The Spurs Warriors will be playing in the Alamo Dome since a long time. Spurs haven't played there in a while, and it's part of the 50-year anniversary celebration for the Spurs. Now, a lot of fans are going. There's a big push to break the NBA all-time attendance record, and we're going to do our part here on Locked On Spurs. We're going to be giving away not one, Joe, not two, not three, but 4 tickets to one one Spurs fan. One Spurs fan is going to get 4 tickets right here on Locked On Spurs. right now. We're going to explain to you how you can win those. First of all, quick shout out to the person who was donating this. A Spurs fan reached out to me, Joe, to say, hey, I want to do something good for the new year. I want to do something right by Spurs fans. And he donated them. He is at the Global Spur. You can follow him on Twitter at the Global Spur. His name is Brian, and he really wanted to do this for Spurs fans. So he said, Jeff, I need your help. I want you to help me spread the word out. And I have been hinting that on Twitter, saying, hey, would be nice to give out some Spurs tickets. Would be nice to give out Spurs tickets. So, and Spurs fans, I let y'all know that, hey, keep it. Listen to an upcoming episode with Locked On Spurs. Well, this is it. So here's what you got to do to win it. Joe's probably going to try to win it too. He's going to make a burner account right now and say, this is not Joe Garcia. This is Jim Garcia. So Joe, no shenanigans, Joe.
Oh, hey, technically, I can go ahead and try to win this thing too. So I might throw my name.
You're not qualified because you're on this episode right now. You're going to know the tricks to get it. All right. So here's what you got to do. First of all, you got to make sure you're following me on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. Step 1. Step 2. You got to tweet out to the world, to all the Spurs fans by using hashtag, for the Por Vida and Go Spurs Go, saying that Jeff, me, provides the best Spurs coverage in San Antonio. And to make sure you're paying attention on this episode of Locked On Spurs, which Marvel character did I say Joe has been training with to help facilitate his New Year's resolution? So once again, follow me on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. Tweet out in that same tweet that I provide the best Spurs coverage for all Spurs fans. Again, use the hashtags PorVida and Go Spurs Go. And then the trivia question is, which Marvel character did I say that Joe has been training with to slim down, get in better shape to start the new year? The first Spurs fan to do that will get 4 tickets courtesy of at the Global Spur. His name is Brian. So once again, Brian, thank you for doing this. I appreciate that. But yeah, Joe, one fan's going to get 4 tickets. You can take your family to that.
Oh, yeah, I can. I mean, I'm going to be at the game anyway with my son on January the 13th, which is a Friday, by the way, which is a great way to start your weekend, to go back to the Dome. And like I was jokingly telling my oldest son, the last time I took him to go see a game in the Alamo Dome, I think the kid was maybe 3 years old, Jeff. So
Wow.
he's finally going to be able to experience a game in the Dome as an adult now. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, there you have it. That's how you're going to win 4 tickets to the game for one Spurs fan. You can take your friends. You can take your mom, your dad, your girlfriend, double date with somebody. It's on you, and courtesy of at the Global Spur on Brian, courtesy of Brian. So I appreciate that, Brian. That was very, very nice of you. And once we get a winner, again, the first person to do that wins them all. And then we'll let Brian know. And then Brian at the Global Spur will transfer those tickets to you. Simple, easy enough. So, Joe, what a way to start the new year, huh? Right here in Locked On Spurs. Giving away 4 tickets.
Yeah, what a way, to start the year, to give out those tickets to one lucky fan. And who would have ever thought that the Spurs would actually host a game in the Alamo Dome? Not me. I never thought that would happen, Jeff. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait.
Absolutely. All right, we're done talking here. We want to hear from you. What do you think about Tre Jones' ceiling? Have we reached it yet? Is there more to come? Did we miss some stat that you throw in our faces to say, hey, y'all missed this, and look, he's going to get even better? You can let Joe know on Twitter at 2 Shots Podcast, and me on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. And what are some resolutions for the Silver and Black that you would like to see in the new year as well? Joe, tell us what's going on at 2 Shots.
At 2 Shots, well, today we're going to be doing a giveaway. We're going to do a live giveaway. We're going to go live on Facebook and probably YouTube and Twitter at the same time and give out some photos, autographed photos, courtesy of one of my good buddies here. And, just as a way to give back to the fans, as just saying thank you for supporting us and what we're doing, So that's going to be fun. We actually love doing giveaways for the San Antonio Spurs fan.
Nice, man. Look at you. You can see another reason why you should be checking out 2 Shots Podcast. Giveaways there, giveaways here on Locked On Spurs. It's all Good. So good luck to the person who's been listening to this segment of Locked On Spurs. And don't forget that trivia question. I'll repeat it one more time in that same tweet. Which Marvel character did I say Joe has to be training with to get back in shape? So for Joe Garcia, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock in this episode of Locked On Spurs.